The doctrines. Just taking the big, just, yeah, just the big doctrine. As they're posed in the Bible with their religious language. The most important, the whole goal of reality, the whole purpose is sanctification. That's the whole reason of what reality exists. There's nothing more important in reality, and it's way more important than reality. Salvation. Salvation, redemption, be in accord with reality, be in accord with God the Father through His Son called truth. You need to know truth in reality. And when you know, you're peaced. That's where peace is. Peace comes with remembrance. Remember. You remember with the sword. Because you cut things up with the sword. That's why you need a sharp sword. To ask the right question. To have sharp question. Remember peace, peace which is the dark mirror of hope. Everybody wants to achieve peace through hope. Hey, you'll never get it. It's completely incoherent. I'm gonna buy dog and dog sleigh because I'm going through Miami. Passing by the Northwest Territory, trying to find the Northwestern Passage and come down through Russia and through India and through Africa and grab the boat, jump in Australia and finally make it to Argentina. And go up and go up and go Mexico and go United States, Florida. It's complete nonsense. You're running the wrong way for the achievement. But let's say that you'll never achieve getting to Florida, even though you go the long way. You probably get lost in the Northwest Passage. Dumbass. It's an image. It's just to make it a bit humoristic, but that's what it is. That's what it is. You're here for sanctification. The sanctification, understanding reality more and more and more, remembering, cutting it apart and putting it back together so it pleases common sense, justice, it pleases the whole family up. Doctrine of truth. Everybody in the church will tell you that truth is Jesus. Yeah, but what that means? When Jesus came in flesh, it's very vague, and these are concepts that are like when a good piece of meat. like the way, the truth and the light, that's pretty simple. That's pretty down to ground. He's talking directly to you. You have the enlightenment of his Holy Spirit in you, having revealing you the function of reality, the function of your life, what life is all about, sanctification for the purifying of your mind. Only through truth you can cohere. You gotta know truth to be able to cohere. And if you don't know truth, you invent truth, and that's why you're unbalanced and you don't see the reality right, and you're confounded with it and you don't accept it, and you try to change it. You try to change it in a manner that's how now the culture is. Change the thing. It's really not good enough for us. We're really trafficking with it. We left big rock building behind for the generations past, but now we're doing way more. In the manner of reality, with the chemicals and the industry and all that stuff. They never did that before. We're the only one that does that. And that's what's kind of... I mean, there's always been only one time that never has been reproduced once it was passed. But the old thing always remained in an essence, like a magical essence. That people were wise enough and close enough to the spiritual realm with some kind of a decent pineal gland that wasn't all all screwed up with all the shit we eat and the way we're not taking care of our body because we have lost a sense of it. We don't know how it works. We don't know aura. We don't know nothing. And it doesn't take long to put those things together when you're 6,000 years in the past, when you have a super clear pineal gland and your culture is all about that pineal gland and your profitability of passing by magic, because you don't have to work as hard to get it. It's the spiritual realm that does it for you. In the manner that that's that doctrine of truth that remains truth, because truth, the substance of reality, is the voice, the coherent voice of God that organizes reality in such a manner that it tags with consciousness that has moral value as a base card, if you will. In the basement, the thing it needs to be played. It's all about justice. Once you get the tweak of what justice is in reality and you see it perfect, then nothing worries you no more. You have pieced reality into remembrance with truth and cohesion. And that's the doctrine of Israel, in the manner that it's your mind power. And Judah being your envies, your flesh, everything that is flesh-wise, it's going to the south. And all the rest goes to the north. Find an idea to wipe Judah's bum. That's the war within you and between you and self. You have to wipe self. You have to take care of self all the time, because self is demanding all of what you transform into reality for his satisfaction, the filling up of your emotion. And that's why you have lost the war, because you haven't controlled that. You have temptation to reality. You don't understand what reality creates when you bond yourself to it. You don't know what hell is. Hell is trouble. That's all there is to hell. Confusion. Babylon. Missing the point of life, culture. Cult. It's all cult. You mind reality. You don't mind heart. And you use your intelligence to solve problem of reality. Then you're going in reality. You're not here to solve problem in reality because it's in God's hand. And God's got it in control. And there's enough lost people that doesn't change a thing when you receive salvation. I never found one. Another one. And I don't know if I probably will be dying and never find one. Maybe at the end of times, who knows, but I doubt it, because we don't want to communicate to each other that much. It would be awesome, but we know we don't need each other that bad. Because it's just a matter of the gauge of ability to have a system that enables you to discover your mind instead of discovering reality. You discover your mind, and your mind is much bigger than reality, because it's the same seed as God has, and once it grows, it's gonna grow as a tree, kind of thing. It has to keep on being built righteously, like in their generations after that. Because eternity will be other generations. There'll be change in the produce of reality, which is like paradise, if you will. That everybody that has understood the gimmick of what is being taught down here, if you take power from reality, you're going in reality, and that's all there is to it. It cannot be explained more simply and concisely than that. Your mind is in reality. You're going in reality. You like cars, you like house, you like your cheesecake, you take, you're going to. That's all there is to it. That's the perfect justice of God. Wherever you have trained your mind to be in a frame state, if you will, in a religion, then you're going into your identity. And I always repeat it. I repeat it a lot, that one, but it's so crucial. It's your identity that injects you in hell by your uniqueness. Because you don't want to accord yourself. That's all there is to it. That's the harmony of God. It's got nothing to do with music. Music is a produce of the hand. It's a direct produce of the hand. You think you impress God when you pull your strings and you get your voice all twisted and You maintain that reality into activity in all of you seeing is perfect control. You're gonna start singing to try to tell him that you love him? No, don't throw your paper on the ground. Have respect for his creation, somehow. In a way that now is the time to say in now we. And now we of God and not in fear of God. When you have comprehended a thing with the process of your mind, I mean, you might change thing around you to kind of being proactive as for the foresight you perceived, and that's all through information and coherency and all that. If you don't if you don't put information and coherency to see and tag it with along the plan of Satan, that is the plan of God, that is the plan of the misuse intelligence, that is Lucifer. And that's your effectuating your idea. That's hope. Hope is Lucifer. Because there's no hope in reality. You don't want hope in reality. You want hope in regrets. You want hope in guilt. You want hope in excusing yourself to have trashed Mother Nature in the past unconsciously. Now that you have received new birth, you're conscious about it. And it changes cards. It changes cards not only for Mother Nature, it's only a reflection that is on man and on animals and all the creation that you marvel at on cars. To see everything that goes with cars. Profit of corporation and great amount of technology also, but it's the power of the brain that have been transformed to material. That now your Tesla can read your humor because it's tagged to your cell phone that exactly knows you way more than you know yourself. When you understand that the intelligence and don't want to die and take means through reality to provide that satisfaction, you're screwed. You work for evil. That's what working for the devil is. That's culture, society. That's what everybody does. Other than the ones that are working profoundly each other's heart to explain to each other a way out of the worst worry. And what's happening to me when I'm getting eaten by the worm and just at my side people puke because I've been dead for 3 weeks. They found me in a ditch and that's me now. I've been there in the ditch dead for 3 weeks. I'm all rotted out. That's me. That's what you are. That's really what you are. No, you're the divine seed. You have the divine seed and you have your intelligence. You can take info, mash them to a calculation and output a product. And when you understand the pureness of intelligency, when a product of the mind get produced, it's over. It's like a nail in the house. It don't move no more. It's part of the structure. It's not like the other guy that received an idea and it's just the beginning of labor, because he has to effectuate all that in reality and get the wheelbarrow and mix the cement and get the nails and build his home. Your home, eternal home, is in your mind. There's no other solution when you regard reality straight in its face. If you don't find a solution in your mind, that's what being doomed is. That's why so many people are doomed, and so many people are getting buried and has never figured out exactly what life is for, what reality is for your life to pass on the next level. And that's so important, that where all the kind of Trinity all happens together with the faith and the belief and comfort, if you will, which are like the Trinity of peace. Because you can explain your faith, you comprehend it. You're never cut in a corner, because you have a global view of what reality is for. And if you start bullshitting me with the material aspect of things, I'll make you look like a fool, if you will. It's all temporal. You haven't figured it out, buddy. That's why your intelligence is with you, to get yourself out of reality. And that's your circumcision. And that you live in the boil, but you're right in paradise already, living. Because you have figured out reality. That's what it takes to enter paradise. And then death is just the passage to your glorified body, if you will. Your everlasting identity. But everything is everlasting identity. That's the quack. That's the perfect justice of God. That everything you're either herb on the earth, or a piece of grass, or a flower, or you're dirt. You're the earth, or you're the white stone, the washed soul, the purified idea, in the sense of having comprehending it. It has become one idea, Antichrist. I had to be aware of Antichrist. Antichrist is unbelief. Unbelief is that you cannot explain iniquity. You're the fact that you manage power. That's all there is to it. And you take power in reality, you become reality. You're going in reality. You're focusing drinking blood, elite Masons and all that. You're gonna become a reptilian that change face changer and weird eyes and all that bullshit. You become what you have faith in. If you fully know, or you not fully know, because you can't fully know, but you're within full acknowledgement that you're now in the plane, that you're fully working with the spiritual powers for success, while reality, that's all Hollywood, that's all the sports, that's all the politics, that's everybody that is not the normal people. All the directive and all that, they're all in it. That's why all the baby disappears and all that bullshit. We're feeding those kids, those kings, and it was the same before. It's always been the same. It's passing blood that God tells you don't do that, Israel, because there's tremendous power at doing that. For whatever, however things really happen with, because the fabric of reality is intelligence. Once you understand the relationship of God, Lucifer, Satan, Jesus, and you have them clear where things are, you clearly put their power into their belonging. And the earth belongs to Lucifer, in the manner that Lucifer know the exact same amount as God understands it. But the only thing is Satan is not able to produce nothing. God has produced all that. And that's where Satan is caught. He can't produce nothing. He's good at, he's playing things in his favor on your back by satisfying you, where the flesh comes in. You debalance powers, because the real power is intelligence, the real essence is emotion, and the amount of emotion you went through and did all that, it's what gives you the power of magic, if you will. You have to consciously hate God in the manner that you do exactly the opposite of what God wants you for, your divinity and compassion. You can't hurt to gain power, to compassion. It goes to competition. You become an animal, you become reality. As soon as you pass with your mind in the line of competition, and you kind of like to compete, it doesn't work in divinity. You're completely screwed in divinity, and that's why the society is always circus and bread. It's always been circus and bread. Don't talk to each other, and we're slaughtering Christians. And entertainment. It's all entertainment, Hollywood music, all that things of the hand that's kind of harmonious and plays your emotion fully and make you believe all kind of strange thing, and it confuses you. You don't find yourself in that. And then you learn at school that reality is not real, and it be true, but there's reality into reality, because there's consciousness, and that's what the school don't talk about. The whole game of reality is consciousness. It's not a pile of material. You have to have a clear conscience in the manner that you have understood the right core base of the relationship of you and the product. The supposed God is so good, God is so good, He loves us. He loves us. And that's true. It's all true. But very few are able to explain evil and all that. What kind of a God there is, if there is evil, and that's where, how can I say, the main core of the lie is simply exposed by the manner that you think you're gonna die. And that's the first lie. That's a basic lie. That's a basic curse lie. That's the basic thing that we're cursed with. Really, 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 really. Is that you think you're gonna die. And that's complete foolishness. Nobody dies. And death don't exist. Because you have to the intelligence of being able to comprehend and obviously do things that Mother Nature don't. It's as simple as that. Fuck around with reality. Or not to touch it. You're to feed your freaking digestive tube with it to keep you alive and think. That's all there is to it. Feed, think. Feed, think. That's all you're allowed to do. That's rest. Feed, think. Whatever it's needed to enslave. That's the third one. Make sure you don't take from nobody and you're poorly paid and comfortable and in peace to be able to develop your thought peacefully. Because you know that's all there is to be done. If you start moving and trying to do things for God, you screw yourself. Because then it's you doing the things for God. You don't do nothing for God. And God will come and put it in your face. And that's the way it needs to be worked. That you just want to live minimum. That's all there is to it. Minimum, owning nothing, everything to your mind. Because now you're attached to your mind. You're not attached to reality no more. You just need to feed yourself. Find a safe self-shelter and fuck around with the boys all day for piddly money. Who cares? I'm alive, I'm thinking, and the action is just about to begin. So what the heck? It's just about to get real hardcore. November, December, whatever happens. Who knows what's gonna happen, but it's just about, with Trump in, it's all gonna be in your face. Boom. It wouldn't, I mean, it's all rigged, it's all. Hitler never freaking lost the war. It's false Hitlerism. It's just Hitler divided in two, but it's always the two. It's always the right and the left. It's like a divided Hitler. They're just two Hitlers that goes at her, and they're best friend, because just like they're freaking wrestling things. They look all mad at each other, but they're not. They're just playing a show. That's what reality really is. They imagine the amount of powers that we had, that it took, who knows, 4,000, 5,000, other than the flood, like past flood, for Lucifer to cut us off as population of the spiritual power usage and ability. And don't break your brain how the pyramid were done. It's not important how they're done. What is important for you to basically understand is that the mind has degraded. But to be able to achieve what's over humanly achievable, that we are the best today at achieving through technology, can enlighten a guy to make him realize that there is powers in things that are completely unknown to us. 30-foot giants and probably growing buildings and things like that. Just as they discovered the technology today that they can make walls out of bacteria that slowly grows. You feed them what? I don't know. But you just make a wall of DNA and you seed it and it grows. However you decided to program the DNA to grow the goddamn thing. It feeds itself by what you have programmed it to, and what it needs to transform and what. You give the idea to the rock. That's pretty much what it is. My nanoparticles. But Satan can, I mean, in the old days, that's what Satan was probably being able to help you with through a set of logic that have been cut off to us because we don't know how really magic works through ether, through transformation of reality, but by the core comprehension that both are established in intelligence. And the whole thing is about the sense of conviction and faith and belief. So you establish whatever system your imagination can produce. And that's what Satan wants you to do, in a way. And to bring the possibility of the imagination into the feasibility, into reality. You invent. That's why the invention and idols. That's what idol is. That you think you're better because you have thought about that little gadget. You fuck it up more and more and more and more and more and more and more. You make yourself dependent more and more and more of the stupid civilization you have decided to falsely build for yourself to comfort your emotion. And today it's all about consumption. It's crazy. Everything is eBay and buy, receive your little packet, get all excited, open your box. It's amazing. It's completely brainwashed. It's so nasty for Mother Nature. We're treating it so much like shit. If you don't have that sensitivity of seeing us do those things, thinking that we advance ourselves, destroying our habitat that way, because we haven't included that you're gonna live eternally, you dumbass moron. That's what you can't figure out with your little pea brain, that nothing dies because you have intelligence. If you'd be totally a dog, then there's no, I mean, it's the full-on package of God without transgression. A dog don't transgress. He follows. There's no transgression in a dog. So he go peacefully into what God has established the thing as being equity. He's part of the line of true reliability. That's Mother Nature, buddy. The dog is Mother Nature. He's got no accusation. The cow, the pig, the chicken, they have no accusation. They have a servitude. But that's your divinity. How are you gonna treat those things? It's part of your are we in the regard of God, in Mother Nature. That stupid car. My favorite doctrine is the doctrine of affliction. And that's the one that really saves you. When all your life you have regarded reality and you were super highly critical of it, and you have examined it and look in it and try to comprehend it and try to see the base of it and how we're trapped and how it's done on us and all that stuff, and law language, like all the different language of the different branches of civilization, like the tech division now, and the terms, it takes years before you get all the terms in order to really seize what the language is and what all those language really means. And then they present it within a lie to the general public, taking them like idiot and not really saying what they're really doing also. But they're telling, they say it, but in a very foggy way. So you don't really understand what they're really saying because you don't know the knowledge and you don't know the... And then it only talks to the people that really knows their shit. So it takes years before you can really follow what they're saying clearly. And that's what I've been studying for years. University papers about all the telecommunication bullshit and bio transhumanism altogether. Lucifer. That's how all will get united, because we have fabricated by faith through material that is a really solid faith, a system that we will comprehend at the end that it's, how can I say, it's something that completely controls you in your whole core of yourself, systematizing your health and all that bullshit that probably will follow your citizen points, your good guy points, and you don't really have to work anymore because the robots are pretty much doing it all. It can happen really quick in the sense that it doesn't have to be applied on the old planet. It just put in concrete, like your Hollywood and your New York and your Philadelphia and your Hong Kong and Tokyo, and there's much and much robot that does it more and more things, and because they got you by the ball with your health. That's a really the real thing is that they got your balls with your mind, your emotions, your perspectivity of reality. They can fuck with your mind, they can do whatever they want with you, with the control they have over that. If they decide to wave beam on you and inject you with something, they can make you disappear like the Twin Towers. You're just not there anymore. You're vaporized. They're right there today. For a long time they've been like that. But the freaking UFO had it. It's just been realized, that's all. And they're all the UFOs armaments that were there on the pyramids, that were the beam. The beam was doing whatever you want. You do whatever you want with the beam. Once you have the beam on somebody, you have the whole control of the structure. What you want to do, destroy it, bring it to the ship, whatever. Send it to Saturn, whatever. It doesn't really matter. At that point, you're open to the spiritual realm. Your reality have become imagination. So all the possibilities of everything that you don't have any idea of are now all applied for what the power of God is. You want to understand how they did the pyramid? I think it's all those things are coming really fast into knowledge. When the freaking 30-foot guy will start show up everywhere and invade city and break everything up, and who knows how it's gonna be, but who knows? What are they preparing? I mean, it's gonna be freaky. But it won't be before they grab you. I mean, they'll grab you by your health and your bank account and your belonging, and then it's slowly that it's so much harder and harder and harder to keep stuff. That's why you don't want to own nothing, because you can't keep stuff no more. And be happy by owning nothing, because finally you're out of all those trouble with them taking everything you have. But you'll be in acceptancy because they have the control over your emotions. They make anything happen. They tame you right down. The possibilities are all there today, but they're all there. They're all there in the manner that the Star Fort were all there, the castle were all there, the cathedral were all there, the pyramids were all there, and now Starlink is all over there. And that nanoparticle with the chemtrails are all over there. Everything is impregnated by that nanoparticulate that the system can read because he processed it out, kind of thing. It's made for the process. It's the mechanization of the power of the ether, if you will, that they always used it in a way in another. In the meaning that there's probably different rank of it, different taps that you can tap in. There's for sure, and that's much more what the Bible describe for kind of those things would be projected an idea as a wheel, that one brings the other. You become intelligent more when your ass is burning on the line, and you find idea quick to get yourself out of shit. And so you mind much more when you gotta work hard at rebalancing your emotion to your like fabricated piece, if you will, and bring back things to normal. And that's your pressure. That's the pressure of life. That's the boiling pot that you're caught in, because everybody everywhere, it's always the same thing. If whatever road you go through to habilitate, to put yourself in ability to pull out of reality, to render your desire real, it all works by those possibility of faith and conviction. You leak blood, you do sacrifice, you do the Satan. So to open the door, if you will, of Lucifer entering your mind, and it's not Lucifer. It's like it's what Lucifer is. That's what high in spirit is. That you accommodate yourself well in society because you're performing in society, and everybody loves you. You have charisma, and you're high in spirit. And when you're high in spirit, you're really proud of yourself in the mean that that's what success is, and being proud of yourself. When you don't care for success, and then you're poor in spirit, and you're probably poor in life because you don't like competition. And you don't maybe if you're of a good heart, you don't understand why compassion don't prevail for our much superior ability of each other in dealing with. And at that point is usually the people that wants it simple. You just want a simple life. How come we're not able to frickin' find a little spot, everybody leaves us alone, and we do our little life? There's the tax collector and this and that and that. And that's Caesar. Caesar is your hope. It's Egypt. Idol. satisfying your emotion with your good ideas. And the more you're intelligent, more or less you have that heart of competition and a bit of wisdom in that, and there you go, you can conquer the world, become a superhero. And that's a lie. Superhero is God. He put that reality together to give you an idea of your possibility of enjoying eternity in a manner that you'll enjoy a social life after death. Because everybody that has caught on the systematic of reality for the ability to have that sense of conviction of not being trapped in the trap anymore and being passed over through the manifestation of the ability of the mind to produce conviction, that you're convinced of the purity of the balance of the justice that is work down here. And every single fucker that has a mind of trying to compete with each other, I don't want them in paradise. That's a division. I don't care. I don't care who you are, what kind. I understand the quack down here. I know truth. It's a recto line. It's very, very easy to understand. You care about life or not. You have a consciousness or you don't. You want to understand life or you don't. If you live fully your material life, I don't care about you. I have one guy like that, it's my boss, and I don't care. And that's where you're contented alone with God. Solo. And there's so much to be said with all those big doctrine, but that's very much the base of it. Because then you get into forgiveness and all those super important things. Forgiveness, I should do forgiveness. Half an hour max. When you were not newborn, you were just like everybody else around. Nothing was changed in your life. I mean, everybody lived the same tone. And hope. You live hope. You create your hope with the choice of your identity. That's what everybody does. And when you receive new birth and you understand that you're creating your bond with that and it's no good and this and that and temptation is God and you don't want to have nothing to do with reality no more because you understand it's in God's hand. It's none of your business, none of your power. And you respect that for God. That's the fear of God. Because everything goes against the desire of God, it becomes wrath. And that's you not accepting reality. In the meaning of fucking with it to cover your emotions. That's all there is to it. And when you catch that system, you understood that you didn't have that as depth of consciousness to understand that fact. But that's what you understand at new birth, and that's one of the very clear point that is established at new birth. In a simple manner, you understand that not only reality don't belong to you, but if you try to take out of reality, it will attach you. So you don't want to have anything to do anymore with reality. And you don't understand that God controls it, but you understand that you don't want to touch it anymore. And then the Bible makes you finally oh yeah, okay, that's why. God, that's how God is in control of everything. Because you understood at that point that all of your life was in a manner pre-built, pre-programmed, and it went exactly the way that it should have went. So you're not mad at reality because you understand the preciousness of having received that moment of new birth. So whatever happened in the past doesn't count anymore. And it's inverted in the manner of the more suffering that have been solved by that action, the more strength you have through the rest of your life to really enter the wall and be kind of furious in a righteous way. That now you really want to know because you have suffered and you want to go in the depth of those things. And that's where once you get that understanding, you understood that that's what the plan is altogether, to that you're gonna be so satisfied at new birth that you don't feel no more vengeance of anything like that anymore. It's like, boo, you got your head out of the water and you unplug that cord behind your head that have made you unseen reality. And as soon as that big plug, just like the Matrix, if you remove that plug, poof, you get right out of the program, and now you see reality real clear. Not in a terrible manner, but in the basics. You know that there's pistons in that engine, and it works with gas and spark plugs and timing. You get the basics, and now you want a detail. It's your new exciting action in life. You're so blessed to have that no, you're forgiven, you forgive, everything become equal, everything become united, if you will. You have, at the moment of new birth, entered paradise, and you know that. That's what new birth opens the door of. Bam! Now you're in the porch, waiting for the door to open. And everybody that's on the porch is on the porch. That's all your friends. You're gonna know all of them. And that's where you unite through, under a whole bunch of different characters that can continue exchange in a perfect expanding environment, only in the manner that finally confusion is accepted and viewed, and with the no competition, and you're happy to be corrected, if you will, and everything will enforce incredibly solid with all the witness, and that'll be like the bullet in a gun. I don't know. But it's gonna be the produce, like that little bit of gold that has been forged, the produce of the experience of the malfaction of have not followed truth and have followed material. You just want to know truth. That's really what you want to know. You want to know truth. Not how the matter function or whatever reality function, but how your heart function. And you understand that it's your ideology that compound your art that is satisfied by the wrong things, but never satisfied. You have left from that position. You're so happy when after that 3 seconds that happened. Once it's over, it's like the relief you have that you're not due and should not, and now finally in accordance of and understanding that you're backed by the right things, because it's a wisdom of the globality of the moralistic essence of reality. There's no purer than that. You are satisfied morally. That's all there is to it. It's a training camp. Men in an average is like just like meat. Hell will be a whole big field. It'll be really, really big. There's a lot of souls that are going to hell. A lot of freaking gas for the little gold that has been purified. And that's, how can I say? That to me, as much as personalities and human beings and this and that, it's like a plate glass. It doesn't belong to me. Nobody belongs to me. I don't have to choose no one. But how can I say? I'll play you if you try me. That's all there is to it. I'll play you real hard. And you will hate me. But only truth is aggressive enough to be able to promote my sheep, hear my voice. And that's where you get that forgiveness, because nobody likes the voice. So you feel so cherished to be one of the so few. Paradise is to have convinced your heart of the essence of life. When you only play the word cultural, you can't do nothing with that. You're convinced you're gonna die. Nobody really figures out that once you receive consciousness to a certain extent, it's all that. Who knows? Who knows? What knows what? Who? At those extents. Once you're conscious, and you start lying, and you accuse yourself, you're a kid, you're the root of the devil. You're animalistic. You compete. You're complete opposition to divinity. Divinity is compassion, and compassion is, if there's another one with affliction, is compassion, because you get afflicted of not seeing compassion. And compassion is to be able to put common sense together. Compassion is just like kindness. It's got nothing to do to be kind. That's such a frickin', it infuriates me, because it's full on flesh. Kindness is putting the right kind together to be able to see clear and see that there's different realm around you, and you can put the right kind together. And if you want to talk of God, by God, with God, the level of God, but you gotta stay in the language of God. You can't incorporate the language of flesh, if you will. That's the language of the angels, that has no weight, no measures. It's always what I talk. I rarely a little bit with in the parable of motors, but it's about wherever I go with the reality real of reality. It's all things to dig your mind. It's all weightless. There's no accusation. There's no personal accusation. It's not your fault. That's the forgiveness. It's nobody's fault. It's the plan of God. In the mean that He's just there to sensitize you in the kind of level of careness you need to apply in life to be able to perceive His desired characteristic. And it all leverage on compassion. That you're kind, that you always go through life trying to see clearer, so to use your knowledge of the functioning of mind and heart to be able to very sharply and how can I say, get your satisfaction in conversation, if you will. That you play the line there where they just don't hate you, but not really like you, but tolerating you, but ready to quit at any instant, if you will. And then you play, that's where you fish, and you play the game of being a bit more nice, and then they come back, and then you put 2-3 punch, and whoop, and now they start pulling on the line. Hey, no. Don't take it personally. Look, everybody's like that. Everybody's like that. The problem is not singular, is not personal, is not individual. It's purely desire of love of consciousness. How are you conscious about life? Consciousness. What's your level of consciousness towards what is presented to you for what life is? And your heart is yelling inside of you, no, I'm not dying, I'm not dying. And that's exactly what it is. Your heart is not dying. Nobody dies. They just get diverted, they just get separated, they just one in the next will fuel the other, if you will. I see it at the giant junk pile that you go and fill up the assistants. Everybody that has woke up after hope was passed and have directly cut and went for their own sacrifice, just like Jesus did. And they cut the quack enough that, oh shit, I got it, finally I got it, because it's all been exposed in my face. And they repented not, and they repented not, and they repented not. But I believe that's where there'll be a little bit of repentance and before that. Because things will become simple to be done, to get things done. The end times Armageddon. It won't be a happy time. Okay, I'm stopping.